watching Quays News with Polly Luscombe
and Sophie Rumsby. Coming up on today's programme,
people all over the nation joined in remembrance on Sunday for those who have fought for our country.
Dozens of people spent the night in a warehouse in Sheffield to raise money for homelessness.
I am surrounded by the hustle and bustle of the Christmas markets here in town. Later on the show, I'll be talking to stallholder Lisa about what it's been like for her business after over a year inside.
In Chester, people gathered for Remembrance Sunday. This included veterans and current members of the British Legion.
Georgie Hebson went to Chester to see the ceremony.
Here we see the Cheshire Yeomanry of the British Army marching in their hometown of Chester as they reflect on those who gave their lives and those whose lives were destroyed by war.
Given what we do as reservists, just having time to reflect is incredibly important. Just to look at ourselves, just look at what we do and why we do it, and to evaluate that sort of stuff.
As well as those who work in the Cheshire Yeomanry, veterans and those from other regions come to march together as one in the historic city of Chester.
I live at the Royal Hospital, Chelsea, and Remembrance Sunday to me means a lot because I have lost a few friends in Northern Ireland and some in Iraq and what have you.
The nation falls silent as it's 103 years since one of the most significant wars in modern history, World War I. I'm in the city of Chester where many people have come to pay their respects. World War I is when Remembrance Sunday started back in 1919, but now we're remembering those past and present who fought in many other conflicts.
The reason we've come up to Chester today is we've got an affiliation with Chester City that we're really proud of, and we've kindly been invited to take part in the Remembrance Parade. We brought 35 members of the ship's company up, and we're really proud to have marched through Chester.
As the senior service in the Royal Navy, but the armed forces on the whole, is just to remember all of those soldiers, sailors and airmen across conflicts. Obviously we think of World War I and World War II, but there's been many more recent conflicts, and it's just an opportunity to remember the service that those men and women have given.
Georgina Hebson, Quays News.
We've all felt it getting chillier over the last few months, but would you swap your comfy bed for a night in a cold warehouse? Well, that's exactly what dozens of people have done, all to raise money for Roundabout, a charity which helps young people who are at risk of becoming homeless.
Sam Taylor went down to see what happened.
It might not look comfy, but over 280,000 people in the UK alone sleep in worse conditions every night. This is Pedlar's Warehouse, and any other day you'd find it bustling with market stalls, but on this cold autumn night it was a sleeping space for over 50 people, all of them doing so to raise money for Roundabout, a charity which looks out for young people who are at risk of being homeless.
A lot of people say that like it's a bit crass, we don't want to do sleep out because we know what homeless people go through and it's horrible, and it is, but that's not really what sleep out's about. It's about getting people together to support a cause, to hear young people speak, to hear our CEO speak, to chat to our key workers and get a little bit of an insight into how uncomfortable it is, because I can guarantee no one here will get a full 8 hours sleep tonight, and that's kind of the point.
Since the experts say there won't be much sleeping, comedians and musicians intend to keep spirits up, and to stop people from getting bored, games are on hand.
Really nice experience. It seems to be last year everyone's a bit closer actually. So yeah, hopefully I'll get a bit more sleep this year than I did last year, because I know one of my colleagues started snoring quite early, so yeah, hopefully it'll be a better experience in that sense.
It may seem fun, but Roundabout relies on fundraisers like this one to help young people, and right now they need it more than ever.
It's a worry. Still see loads that are coming through with real issues that, makes them homeless far too young.
Sam Taylor, Quays News.
Almost got a really large head. It's a worry.
In the last 12 months, 2 in 5 people in the transgender community have experienced a hate crime or incident because of their gender identity. Jessica Mason is joined by Rin Monk in the studio to discuss what else can be done to support those in the LGBTQ+ community.
So this week is Transgender Awareness Week, which is really important in the community. So could you tell us a bit about how you came to terms with your identity?
Well, actually it wasn't until this beginning of this year when I realized I was non-binary. Since I was little, I knew that I didn't fit in with the stereotype of a woman or a man, and it was very difficult, and it was very scary of the idea of how to come out to my parents, telling them that I was no longer their little girl, or having to explain it to an immigrant family what exactly non-binary actually meant. But the weight of the shoulders of realizing that I was non-binary and not a woman was actually such an amazing relief, and it helped me just become myself a little bit better. And I think people don't really realize how incredibly important it is to accept yourself no matter what gender you are and things like that. There's a lot of issues and inside the community of people not wanting to realize misogyny and racism and xenophobia inside of the community, which can cause a lot of problems with transphobia and into the trans community. Unfortunately, this year in 2021, it has become the deadliest year for transgender community. At least 375 transgenders have died, and youngest one being 13. And it is a disgusting idea that a 13-year-old could have died.
So what do you think needs to be done for the community to support?
I think people just have to let people be themselves, accept that it is not their choice, this is who they are no matter what. This is not something new that our generation, the Gen Zs, have started going on. It's just something that has been always since history, you know?
Thanks so much for speaking to us today.
No worries.
It's that time of year again, Children in Need. But what makes this year so special is that it's happening here in Media City for the first time. We want to hear what you are doing to celebrate this Friday and what you are wearing. Tweet us at Quays News. Lidl has announced pay rises from March 2022. This will make it the UK's highest paying supermarket. The supermarket says that they will increase pay up to £11.40 an hour. Rents across the UK are rising at its fastest pace since 2008, as demands for property soar, especially in large cities like Manchester. According to a report from Zoopla, rent prices are now up by 6%. The number of people employed in the UK has rose to the last month since the closure of the government's furlough scheme. According to the Financial Times, the number of payrolled employees rose from just over 29 million, making employment the highest it's ever been. From hikes to chair yoga, Salford-based organisation Beyond Empower does all this and more. The company works with the local GPs and medical practices to help disabled people get active, and their mission became even more relevant after lockdown. Jessica Blackburn met with them to find out more.
Phone number, yeah.
For many, the end of lockdown marked the end of twiddling thumbs, Zoom calls, and copious amounts of tea and coffee. But for the members of Beyond Empower, it meant so much more. After being confined to online classes, members are thankful that they can finally get out and about again.
I was just stuck in the house doing nothing, bored out of my tree. And and I was just thinking to myself, why am I sitting here when obviously there's walks going around? Because obviously I love doing walks myself. So I thought, you know, I'm gonna get involved in this.
Due to the lockdown, the organisation has seen an increase in new members, with many opting for in-person sessions.
We did deliver through lockdown where it's a lot of online stuff, online classes which aren't for everybody. But since, certainly over the last few months now, there's been an increase in the number of people being active and an increase in the number of referrals that we're getting.
Do you still have people doing the online ones for specific reasons?
Yes, there's online ones at the moment for chair-based yoga, which suits a lot of people. A lot of referrals come from Henshaws, the blind charity, so people feel safer doing the online yoga in the safety of their own home rather than meeting in a venue outdoors.
As winter quickly approaches, Beyond Empower continue to stay optimistic amid the looming threat of further restrictions.
Even before the pandemic, walking was my passion. But after the pandemic hit, it made me discovering more opportunities.
Due to the pandemic, Christmas was practically cancelled last year, but the Christmas bells are finally ringing again. People are enjoying the festivities down at the Christmas markets. Hannah Patterson is in Manchester talking to stallholder Lisa from Kin Vodka.
Thanks, Polly. I am surrounded by the festivities and Christmas cheer. It is busy, it's chilly, and it's great to be back at the Christmas markets to taste the amazing food and drink. I'm here with Lisa, stallholder, and she's going to be talking a bit about how her business has been affected during lockdown. So Lisa, how's it been? Tell me a bit about your stall.
Well, we're selling toffee vodka, toffee apple and toffee vodka. The stall this is our 6th year here. Last year it was affected by COVID. Obviously we weren't here. We did a week here, but there was literally nobody here. So we're really, really happy to be back this year.
Amazing, and obviously it must have dampened your Christmas spirit not being about last year, but of your overall business, has it had a major effect on the business?
It did have an effect, especially for the Christmas period. We did have an increase in sales, obviously, online, but it doesn't take away the fact that we meet new people every day, and all the new business that we would have got if we were here for new customers, that obviously wasn't there and obviously didn't make up for it.
And how's it been back at the Christmas markets this year?
It's been really great. I was a little bit concerned thinking, are people actually going to come into town? But they've definitely come back in the droves. I'd say there's more people around. Everyone is in good spirits. I think they're just glad to be out, to be fair. But yeah, there's definitely more people around and they're really enjoying it.
And how long have you actually been at the Christmas markets?
This would have been our 6th year, but obviously last year it didn't happen. So yeah, so it's our 5th year this year.
So have you got any testers? Can we test anything?
There's a toffee.
Oh, I think it's only right. Celebrating Christmas. Merry Christmas, guys. Happy days. Cheers.
This Friday is Children in Need. To celebrate, we are wearing our very own Pudsey Bear t-shirts. Make sure to wear your best spots on Friday to show your support.
Earlier on in the programme, we asked you to let us know what you are doing to get involved. Out of 17 votes, 76% said they will be watching the BBC Appeal show this Friday, which is actually being hosted here in Media City for the first time this year.
And only 6% said that they were getting involved in charity fundraising. I mean, I remember at school, we'd always do bake sales all the time. That was how we raised our money.
Yeah, I used to love baking cakes with my mum and I. It was just great fun.
You see, I was that one that would always buy the cakes from the store and then put it in a homemade tub and be like, look at these professional cakes I just made.
I mean, at least they sounded delicious. So Katie Brown said she is painting her whole body yellow and wearing a spotty eye patch and Pudsey ears. She says she's basically Pudsey Bear.
Now that is some dedication, it has to be said. I would not want to be washing that off the next day.
I mean, I think that is great dedication, and I think she's going to raise a lot of money for that.
I would just go the headband, but I mean, each to their own, I suppose. And the next tweet is, I'm going to be curling up on the sofa with my hubby like we do every year. Bring on the rosé. And that is from Pudsey Lover 666.
Some more great dedication there from all of you.
Very impressive, it has to be said.
So that's all from us today at Quays News.
Thank you for watching.